right, good morning, y'all. This is Rev Bruce, and I'm coming at you, just with something from the other side of things. And so this is Coffee and Chat with Rev Bruce. This is a new day, new dawning, and so I'm just glad to be here. Check it out. Got on my special Padre gear for my near and dear friends who are in particular out in St. Louis, right? So I got my Padres geared up for the playoff run that's coming up for the MLB. And so definitely want to give a shout out to Terry Wilson, been on the show before, and Pastor Derek Perkins. Hope to see the Cardinals in the playoffs, but then again, they may not make it. So God bless them. But we're not here for that. We're here for a little coffee and chat. And so let me get on with this and let y'all know today is something special. I'm doing a little something different. And so I want to make sure that I get a shout out to all the people who are out there supporting the show. Love y'all. This is something. Man, this is number 16. I've done 15 weeks of this, and right now, believe it or not, two of my most popular shows, Aldo Chavez and Dr. V, and they're just running neck and neck. So definitely go check those out, Aldo Chavez, Dr. V, and see what they're about. This is something different this week because we're doing just a little chat. I was supposed to do a little thing with voter registration and a remote event. Everything's remote anyway, but a remote event particularly for voter registration down on Imperial Avenue here in San Diego at the barbershop. Couldn't do it because, got a little ill, semi-flu symptoms. And so when you have that going on, you really can't be out in public. So, just self-quarantine, taking a little time and ease back, pull back. And so had to adjust my schedule, but I will definitely be at Imperial Barbershop in the future. This is definitely, as the brother says, it's the most conscious barbershop in San Diego, the most conscious barbershop in San Diego. Plenty of great talk with my barber there, Brother Thao Baraka. And so definitely giving him love. Some of y'all still know him as Mario, but that's all right. And so keeping it strong, keeping it all the way strong. And today, we really still want to talk about voter registration. We still want to talk about some of the things that you need to do, get out and vote. And some people have been able, in some places, been able to cast their votes already. And so let's keep this thing moving. Let's look at this. By the way, some of y'all may not have noticed, but that's okay. We've got the new logo out here, right? And the new logo is on display. And so took some time, been organized since 2006. And so this took a while to get going and just say like, okay, let me slow down, let me reset this. And so this new logo is here, and definitely want folks to, check it out, share their opinions, and, let us know something. Let us know what you think about that. That's going on with the show. And hey, y'all, this is different. We are on Twitch. I'm telling you, we are on Twitch. And listen, this is I'm feeling it, So that's the whole thing. We're streaming on Twitch, trying it out today, see what it's about, see how folks are liking it. And for everybody out there, all my folks on Twitch that are out there, hey, God bless you. Thank you for watching. Give us a chance. Usually it's an interview format, but we're doing a little something different today, and we'll be back to the interview. And in fact, as we move forward, we're going to bring on some panels too. So much love to what's happening out there on Twitch for all my gamers. You know, I'm not going to call anybody out by username, but you know who you are, and God bless. Stay strong with it. All right. And so I want to start out today just taking a moment to simply read off this prayer. I shared it on social media before, but I think it's something that's necessary, you know, and it's just something that goes like this. It says, daily I find myself fighting a demon named doubt. He gets into my head without me even knowing it until he speaks to me. He tries to enter into my heart too. My best defense against doubt is to remember that I am not alone in my daily battle. And the Lord said, and I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. Matthew 28:20. And I think that's important for somebody to get today. I think that's important for somebody to pick up on, because think about it, y'all. This is 2020, and we've got some folks out here. We got a lot of social tension right now. Call it what you want to, call it how you see it, but we've got a lot of social tension right now, and a lot of racial tension, a lot of other things going on. And so to go along with that, we've got people losing their jobs. We've got people entering college, and they're doing it remotely for the first time, and they're taking classes and not meeting the professor. It's all kinds of stuff that's so different than how we've done it before. And so now, today, got helicopters and stuff flying over me, but amen. Now, guess what? Doubt starts to creep in, and people say, well, is this really what I need to be doing? Is this really the path I need to be taking? And so I just want somebody to know that in all this, don't let doubt creep in and take over and swallow and suffocate the dreams you have. Listen, I started this show out saying it. This is to help dreamers become doers. Help dreamers become doers, and you can't move forward with your dream if doubt is suffocating you. You can't move forward with your dream if doubt is the obstacle getting in your way. And so trust and believe that doubt is no stronger than the faith you should have in yourself and the power that you have to overcome it. And so don't feel alone. There's a lot of us, we're dealing with this, we're going through it, but we're going to make it together. And so let me get here right to the thing about the election, right? I'm in California, as I said, and what we're looking at is mail-in ballots. You can drop it off. You know, for us in San Diego, we got the county registrar of voters. You can drop it off. Don't be mistaken by any of this stuff that you hear in propaganda that people are saying, you know, that it's not going to count. The post office is going out of business and all this other stuff. Listen, the voting suppression is to throw the numbers off. And it's not to so much throw the numbers off first, but it's to throw the people off. And when you throw the people off, the people say, well, it doesn't matter if I go do that. It really doesn't matter if I get involved with that. And so, listen, it does matter. It's a people-oriented process that the votes of the people do push, right? They do push others and at other levels within this electoral process. This isn't just straight you vote and then that just happens. There's an electoral process that we don't talk about a lot, and you know, the college electorate and all these other things. And so when we start talking about how these presidents get these votes and win these states, we still at the ground level still have to put in our vote in order to push, you know, where we want this thing to go. And that's on the presidential level. But then look at these people that we've got representing us. Look at these people that we got representing us. These incumbents. Check this out. If you really want to do something, give your elected officials a grade based upon what they've done for you, based upon the progress that your community has made, based upon the initiatives that they've set up, and have actually put in place, and based upon what you've seen, heard, read, and you have overall witnessed, what grade would you give your elected official? I'm talking about your senator. I'm talking about your congressman, your assemblyman. If it's your alderman where you live, if it's your councilman, your board of supervisors for your county, your school board, your college board. If you live in a college town that has a college board, but definitely what have these people done for you, and how are they doing it? And is there a better alternative out there? Part of the problem that we have in communities is that we haven't raised or vetted qualified candidates. We haven't created qualified candidates. And so since we haven't created those and groomed somebody along the way, sadly, we get whatever the political machine produces. And usually that's somebody who's worked under somebody else and who's gotten a shot, or it's somebody that has a totally drastic opinion against what previous governmental officials have had, because we want to change. I said I'm from California. Somebody from California remembers when we got mad at Gray Davis, when we said, look, man, enough is enough. We're going to change this thing up because what you're doing, what you're producing is not helping us out. And it wasn't helping us out. And so we had rolling blackouts. There was a numerous crisis. There were pension crisis and all sorts of stuff. Enron was going on, right? And so we said, Gray Davis, you got to go. And at one point, the governor options for California boiled down to a couple of major candidates. Three of them I'll point out. One was Gary Coleman from Different Strokes. You know what you're talking about, Willis, right? That was one candidate, right, on the ballot. And then you had a porn star, and then you had the Terminator, Brother Schwarzenegger. And we ended up voting the Terminator, who became the governor. And that was where California stood, because we were so tired of what was going on with the government. And we got what we got because that's what the political machine had ready for us. We were going to, no matter what, we were going to vote an entertainer in at some point based upon that ballot and those options. And so think about it. We've been there before. And how you think Trump got it? How you think Trump got it? He said, I've got an alternative to what you've been getting from these government officials, and you want something different. You need something different, and that's how Trump got it, because he said, I got something different. I'm not part of that. I'm coming. I'm one of y'all. There you go. And I know how to run a business. There you go. You got it, right? That sounds similar to what Bernie talking about, Bernie Sanders, and for people that are Bernie freaks, God bless you, but check this out. Bernie talking about it like he's never been in government before, like he's not part of government. And Bernie's been in government for years, but democratic socialism, where does that come from? And that's not a political science term. That's something that they put out there and created as a spin, because that becomes a new platform. And that becomes the new drama that people can chase behind because, ooh, sounds like something different. And so be careful about being misled by the new thing. And so what we need to do as communities is educate ourselves, right? Educate ourselves on the process, and then educate ourselves not just on how the process works, but how do we work that process? How do we work the political process? Listen, I'm going to drop something in the next 3 to 4 minutes that's just simple and plain, and we all need to be mindful of it, right? When we talk about politics, when we talk about political candidates and things of that nature, we need to be mindful of this, right? Those become our representatives, and those representatives, therefore, right, should listen to the constituency. If you live in their district, or any area that they cover, they should listen to you and provide, an audience for you and your concerns, whether it be via email, whether it be via fax, whether it be phone calls, whether it be you coming in person. I had the privilege years ago of working with CDF, and we went to DC, and we went and had audiences with public officials in the Capitol on, issues facing children and young people. And they were all set up. We had, script, we were trained, we walked in, we covered our agenda. And so similarly, you need to have an agenda that you can cover with your elected official. And whatever your issue is, run check on them now. Run check on them now, because guess what? No matter who gets elected in office, they should adhere to listening to the constituency. That's what this is when we talk about representative government. That's what this is when we talk about these people are representatives of the people and for the people. And so don't get it twisted. Plenty of people have been elected and then put out. This is not something new. Plenty of people have been elected and then put out. It has happened. It's not just about presidents being impeached. It's about officials not being able to handle their responsibility, and the people have to check them. That's plain and simple. I'm not going to say it too much more, but you need to know this, that the people have to run check on the other folks that are definitely, right, that are definitely not handling their business, right? And so if you don't do that, right, if you don't put these people in check, they're going to run rampant and do whatever they want and whatever they can, because that's part of the liberty and even entitlement that some people feel when they've been elected, and the people don't, call them on their stuff. The people don't check them. And this is not a rant. This is just a reality that if you're going to be involved in the political process, you need to be involved beyond the election, right? It's not just about voting. How do we hold folks accountable who are in office? And don't turn a blind eye to this. I'm trying to tell you, this is what it's about. It's about that accountability. And when we do it, right, how do we hold them accountable? How do we do this and hold people in check and manage all of what we got going on? I've got a mayor to elect. I've got initiatives to look at. The people are putting these propositions up. Listen, read the thing. Read your ballot now. But take this weekend. Read your ballot now. Go through it. Is Prop 22 California? Is Prop 22 really about independent workers and independent contractors, or is it about businesses not having to qualify people as employees and give benefits? Think about it. Read it through. Read what it says. I know all the legalese is there and all that. Break that down. Number one, see who initiated it, what organization initiated it, and see who funded it. Who's funding this? Is Uber funding it? Is DoorDash funding it? Or is it some other group that's funding it on the end of labor unions and all those other interests? And you decide what you support. But you just can't go by some 30-second commercial and say, "Oh, I'm gonna vote for that because they said vote yes for that." Think about it, y'all. Come on. You've got to think beyond just what they're feeding you, right? I've heard it said before, but we cannot be sheep, right? We cannot be sheep in the instance of political affairs where we just swallow whatever folks are feeding us. And that's sad, but it's true. Here goes the reality. The reality is we've got to set up our own system by which to check our political officials. You know, you've got to set it up. And if you don't set it up, you're going to have to join in with someone else. You know, and when I say that, I'm saying you're gonna have to join in with the NAACPs. You're gonna join in with the League of Women Voters. You got to join in with, you know, the coalition here and this neighborhood group there. But you have to join in with someone that's moving in the direction of getting your agenda pushed politically. That's all I'm saying. And if you can do that, cool. If you cannot find someone else that is pushing your agenda, one, you either need to see is it a worthwhile thing that I'm seeking to do, or two, drop it. You know what I mean? This is all about what you got going on. Yes, indeed. Right? And so here we go. You know, this is what Dr. V is saying. Look, check out Causes, right? Causes is an app that you can check out. Get on there. People got petitions going on. People got all sorts of things that are happening. You need to check the report card of your elected official. Get on there, check your official's report card, and see what they're doing. Listen, let me take you back to this, and this is simple. Look at this thing. If you're doubting yourself, where are you putting your trust? Where are you putting your faith? Where are you putting all this energy, you know, of what you got going on? And it's crazy. It's crazy. But listen. This is part of where we start to look at what are we doing with our people? What are we doing with our government officials? What are we doing with our own ideology? How are we sharing that? Check it out, y'all. This is simple. You know, get the voting report card on your officials. You can't say whether or not somebody's doing a good job, and you don't even know how many initiatives they put forth, how many bills they've set forth, how many bills they've authored, how many bills they've co-authored, how many bills they're just in support of. How many times did they not show up to Congress or the Senate to handle their business, to vote? How many votes did they miss? What's their absentee rate? Check it out and see what's the report card of different members of Congress and your senators. And then, hey, you know, they used to put it in the LA Times. They used to put it in the LA Times and say, this is how your representative voted. And so keep this in mind. This is not playing. This is not joking. And when you look at it, right, your power is in your voice. Your power is not just in your vote, but it's also in your voice. Get vocal about it. Get vocal about it. Contact these fools. Contact these political officials. Contact them and get into what are they doing? What are they doing to improve things? What are they doing? Listen, a whole bunch of people are upset about Black Lives Matter, right? And so there's a difference between the organization and the movement, but at the end of the day, are we not saying that Black Lives Matter? You know what I'm saying? Are we not saying that matters? We want to get into semantics and all this other stuff and well, they're terrorists and all this other stuff. Hold up. Do the lives matter? Do the lives matter? And that's all I'm asking. And at the end of the day, I know that all lives matter, but in this pressing time of injustice and police brutality, I've seen a whole lot of people disproportionately, you know, taken out driving while Black, being at home and being invaded upon while Black, and all these other things while brown, while poor, right? We do these things, or we see these things done to people who, quote unquote, don't matter, who who are expendable. And that ain't right. That just ain't right. And I'm going to leave it at that. And God help us if we don't see now as a time to make a difference with that. And so trust and believe. You need to contact these local officials, right? And make sure that even right now, this is the heat of the race. Some of them think because the poll numbers say they're ahead, they don't have to do any work. But put these people to work. Put these people to work once again, because they're still collecting a check, whether they show up in DC, show up downtown in City Hall, or they show up at the courthouse, they're still collecting a check. Call them on it. What are you doing in this matter? What are you doing in this matter? Call them on it, get with them, and say, hey, here's my suggestion. Here's our group's agenda. Help us move this along. We don't know if it needs to be an assembly bill. We don't know if it needs to be just simple local legislation and change something within the municipal code, but figure out within the system how that system works and how to work the system. Because otherwise, you're going to get pushed along. You're going to be fed whatever they're going to feed you. And God help us. God help us that this doesn't just sit and simmer and you never go anywhere with it. Here we go. No doubt. At the end of the day, there's still work to be done. There's still things that need to be carried out. And so to go along with this, plain and simple, on Wednesdays, we're doing a Bible study just on God and government coming up. God and government. Because guess what? In the middle of this election, you got a whole bunch of Christians. They don't know what button to push, what circle to fill in. And God help us, they don't even know if they really want to mail it in, because they don't want to go too conservative and then they don't want to go too radical. Let me tell you something. If you can't even get with what God said, how are you going to handle with what the government says? It's crazy. But we have a role as Christians in relationship to the government. But we also have a role to what's just and what's right and what is truthful. So no matter what we think, we need to get back with that, because I remember reading in Micah 6, it says, hey, he's already told you what to do. To do justice and walk humbly before your Lord. And so if we're not doing justice, right? Justice, that means that we're taking what's occurred and we're attaching adequate consequences to it. If we're not doing justice, then we're wrong. We're wrong. And if we're not standing up, speaking out, and saying, hey, you know what? That over there is wrong, and we need to not do that, we're wrong. We're wrong. We're out of sync, and we're out of literally the will of God. Listen, I know there's a whole bunch of people pushing the religious right agenda and a different type of Christian conservatism, and it's the trumpet of the Lord and Trump. But God help us if that's the only thing you have because you're a person of faith. It's not that way. There's the Bible before some evangelical preacher tells you this is who you need to be voting for in the name of God. God bless us all. Help us today. That just ain't right. That just ain't right. I'm gonna keep shooting, and until I'm out of ammo, I'm done. But I'm gonna keep shooting. Here we go. So, like I said, that's happening on Wednesdays, all the way up until the election. That's happening on Wednesdays, right here. Same YouTube channel, same Facebook. Guess what, Twitch? I'm gonna throw it at y'all too, and see what happens. I might get some subs or something like that. But God bless. Hey, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Here we go. It's happening on Wednesdays, 12 o'clock. We go for about 30 minutes. We're going to be looking at God and government. And so check that out. It'll be myself with Pastor Powell And during this whole time, I might try to bring some other folks on just to pile on, and we can talk about this. But render unto Caesar what's due to Caesar, and render unto God what's due to God. Right? God bless you. Here we go. And in the end, listen, if you're not informed, how are you going to get involved? If you're not informed, how are you going to get involved? You need the information in order to make an informed decision, right? Listen, I just got done shopping for a car, right? And I had spent more time checking the information than I spent on actually going in to the process of the purchase, right? I did more time on the research and getting the information on what's economical, what's comparable, what's a compatible car to this other car. They try to sell me a Lexus, but I said, wait a minute, if the Avalon, right, is 10, 12,000 cheaper, but you're trying to sell me this Lexus, and it's got the same technology, same tires, same engine, all that other stuff. Only difference is it's got Lexus and a little more gold trim. And I said, well, hey man, check it out. I appreciate it. The test drive was cool. I felt like Captain Kirk in the cockpit. But guess what? I'm gonna go ahead and get this Avalon over here and get me a deal, right? Because I had the information. But if I didn't have the information, man, that Lexus felt good. Felt good to sit in that Lexus in the driver's seat and work that thing out. But guess what? I'm on the move and I got my information. And so that way I can make an informed decision as a consumer. Now, if I can do that with a car, I most certainly need to do that with my ballot. I've got my ballot beforehand. If some of y'all got your ballot already, you ain't looked at it, you ain't broke the tape on it, open that thing up this weekend. Get to it. See what it says. See what they're talking about. Listen, you trying to figure out what's going on in your neighborhood, and you don't even know that they've got a bond initiative for schools, and they don't even have these children in school right now. Come on, y'all. We got to do better than that. We got to do better than that. Come on. You've got to have the information and do so. Do your research. Do your due diligence. Find out what's going on in your community, in your state, what's being pulled out, right? And you know what, man? Come back over here and check with me. Come back over here and check with me as we continue doing this thing, right? As we continue just moving forward, right? And I want to wrap you up with some hope. I want to wrap you up with some understanding, right? That this is not the end. This is a heavy time, but this ain't the end. We still got some more living to do. Still got some more working to do. So this isn't the end. And so in saying that, I want you to understand that this is not the end. We are still going to push forward. We are still going to seek better lives for ourselves and for our children and our children's children. And I am here just as one voice. And I know there are plenty of other voices out there, but I'm here just as one voice. And Lord knows, right? Lord knows I am trying to help you understand this is not the end. We've got more work to do. We've got more building to do. And regardless of who comes in and becomes the mayor, who comes in and becomes the president of the school board, who comes in and is the pro temp for the school board of education, who comes in and is the secretary and the treasurer, and God bless whoever's running the ASB. But guess what? Hold them accountable based upon the information that you have. You want to learn more about God and government? We got it coming up. This Wednesday, 12 o'clock on this same channel. This is going to be happening. You know, different show, same channel, but guess what? It's all relevant. It's all relevant because at the end of the day, who are you going to blame? You going to blame somebody else? Or are you going to take up some form of action? Some form of action. Some action that will lead to those who are in office being accountable. Some action that will lead to those who are supposed to be in charge being accountable. Some action that will then lead to you being able to gauge, hey, this brother is for us. Or you know what? You've been doing this a little too long and getting away with this a little too long. We're done. We're done with this for now. And so God be with you, right? This is, like I said, this is not the end. This is not the end. And so trust and believe that at the end of the day, we're going to work and we're going to continue to work until there's nothing that we have left to work on. We got too much gun violence. We got too much trouble with what's happening with our children, right? We need to figure out this whole education in the midst of COVID thing. We need to figure out, well, how come Canada ain't having the same problem that we're having? And all this, you know, rise in cases and everything. What they doing in New Zealand and Australia that we're not doing? And let's get real. I would love for it to come back to normal. But at the rate we're going and at the way we're acting, it ain't going to go back to normal anytime soon. But we've got to recognize this is not the end. And we've got so much more to do. So much more to do. And we need to do it together. We need to get beyond what's different about us and get to how we can make a difference together. That's what we need to be. We need to be difference makers. We need to be difference makers for this time right now. And so check it out. Tune in Wednesday. God and Government. God and Government. And next week, it won't be just me. It won't be just my voice. But tune in. It'll be something inspiring for you. It'll be something that you can hold on to. And as I said, we want to alter this whole thing for dreamers to become doers. Dreamers to become doers. And listen, get rid of that doubt. Put doubt out. Move doubt out the house. Kick them out. Evict doubt. Dump doubt. Drop doubt. If you're headed to the swap meet right now, dump doubt right out there on the sidewalk in the curb and kick them out the car and say, you know what, I'm going to have to check you later, but I've got some things to do. And don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt your dreams. Don't doubt the power that's within you. God be with you. Love you. Amen.